Hi guys! Welcome back to the Kid Chronicles. This is me again, Kid. Thank you so much for watching my vlog. If you are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit subscribe so you can be notified whenever I upload. So for today, I am going to talk about my take about depression and sadness. So depression and sadness, it's not something that is made up. It is something that everybody goes through. It's just that different people deal with them differently. And if you are like me, who is very sensitive, an empath, you usually feel everything 10 times more than normal. So if, for example, another person reacts to an offensive comment, or me on the other hand gets really offended really bad, most of the time we cry or complain about it. In my family, I was always called kapayasun, or kapayas is a papaya, because I am very thin-skinned, and a papaya, whenever you just poke it a bit, some of its juices comes out, right? So that's why they call me kapayasun, or very sensitive. When you are sensitive, oversensitive, or an empath, and you feel everything 10 times more, it is more challenging to us to go through sadness, through depression, through failure, through loss, through rejection. Don't be apologetic about being who you are, because that's what you are. You cannot control it. Maybe if you've been through a lot for a very long time, you developed a thicker skin. I'm trying to learn to develop a thicker skin, but for some reason it's really hard. You have to be tough in order to survive, especially if you don't have your family and your friends. It's very hard to go through a lot of stuff. And I would like to tell you, I have experienced a lot of sadness when I was in the Philippines, but I never called it a depression. When I was in the Philippines, I went to a point wherein I prayed. I just get an amnesia, so I don't remember the person that hurt me, so that I don't remember the situation. That's the extent of my depression or of my sadness when I was in the Philippines. So when I came here, it got worse because I don't have anyone to talk to. I don't have my friends, my families are not here. I am married, but I could never say something to my husband because we did not really spend a lot of time together yet. During those first few days, we did not know each other that much. I did not trust him that much, and I needed to know that he was on my side, or he is on my side, before I really open up to him. And most of the time I couldn't open up to him because the person that has hurt me is someone who is one of his loved ones. So I couldn't open up. It was hard for me. Aside from not having the support here in the US, my habit of praying is not as good as when I was in the Philippines. I prayed a lot. I just depended on Jesus, on God, on my religion all the time when I was in the Philippines, and somehow everything gets resolved even when I don't do anything. But when I came here, I was not as prayerful. My belief was not as good as my belief when I was in the Philippines. Also, not being able to do anything about the situation. I couldn't do anything about the situation. I was so limited. My resources was so limited. No one could help me. No family could help me. So it's the more it was, the harder it was for me. And I was missing my family and my kids who were still in the Philippines during those times. The worst depression I ever went through here was right after I gave birth to my daughter, to my youngest child. And so I called it a postpartum depression because I was going through a lot, going back to work right away. In the Philippines, our parents always, our moms always make us rest for a while, and they always support us. They have a different culture. After I gave birth to my daughter, I traveled right away. 1 or 2 weeks after I gave birth, I traveled right away to the Philippines to see my other kids. And then after I traveled, after I think 1 or 2 weeks after, I also went back to work. So I did not have the rest I needed. I was traveling, I was working, and I have my new daughter. Plus, during that time, during that year was the same year my dad died. And so I was just going through a lot, and I didn't even realize, that all these things are hitting me. And I didn't have support, I didn't have all of that, I didn't pray and all of that. That's why I went deeper and deeper and deeper into depression, to the point where I wanted to end my life. I emailed a friend, and after that I was brought to the hospital because I had suicidal ideation and depression. I was actually admitted to the hospital for it, and I think I only stayed for the weekend, like 2 days. If you don't know how it is being admitted, you are put in a room in a behavioral health facility. You're put in a room by yourself with no TV. I don't think there was a phone. And if you want to read something, you can go out into a place. It's like a lounge where everybody else with mental problems are staying, playing some card games or reading something, answering crossword puzzles. I think I'd go insane if I stay longer here. I couldn't. I can't stay in a room for days without nothing to entertain me, and without being able to talk to my loved ones. I had to call my husband and tell him to give my phone number to my aunt so I can talk to her and tell her what happened and all that. It was the saddest thing I ever went through. Well, it's not the saddest I went through, actually. There's the words, but just thinking about it is hurting me right now. So after being admitted to the behavioral health facility, I went back home, but I was prescribed some antidepressants, which I don't think didn't even do anything at all. I told myself I'm not going back to that place again, and I'm gonna do my best to get out of the place where I was and just emerge and just survive for my kids, because I didn't want to be away from them. Okay. I'm sorry. So anyway, so that was my experience with depression. After that, there was still a lot of things that happened that even got me more depressed, but I did not think of killing myself anymore. I prayed because I know that that's what saved me when I was back in the Philippines. The more I prayed, the better I feel. And then I fall asleep. In the morning, I feel my heart beating so fast again. So I've developed anxiety and depression because of where I was, because of the place where I was that day. Every morning I wake up, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen today? Even how many times I tell my husband and explain to my husband what I'm going through and how hard it is for me. I couldn't grasp how hard it is. Maybe because it's hard for him to walk on my footsteps, and he has not been in my situation. It was harder because my only support at that time was my husband, and the only support I have did not understand and did not want to understand. I don't blame him. Some people can understand right away, and some people just don't have any clue because they haven't been through that situation. I don't blame him, but I did create some resentments. For me, it created resentments against my husband during that time. But I am trying to forget all these things that has happened to me because I am in a much better place now. And he did everything he could. It took a long time to be able to get this place and be in a place wherein I feel safer and I feel more relaxed. But he did it for me. We did it hand in hand, and I'm glad that he did. If I hadn't waited, maybe something else would have happened. I don't know, but I'm still glad I waited because we're still together and we still have our kids, and our kids are together and they are happy. So guys, it has been like 6 years since I have been admitted for my depression. And it was a fast recovery, and going back to the way I am wasn't fast. It did not come right away. It took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of talking to my friends, to my family over the computer, the internet. It took a lot of prayers. It took a lot of belief in myself. It took a lot of trust, to trust the people that are around me, to be able to get out of it. And of course, it took a lot of years, but still, I was able to get out of it. After that incident, I still kept on getting depressed. Not as bad, where I don't have suicidal ideations anymore, but I still, of course, I still feel sadness. I still feel anxious, but not to the point where I was before. So I just want to let you know that if you are very sad and you are in the lowest of the low and you are really depressed right now, know that it is normal to feel really sad and really depressed, because you are human with feelings. And if other people react to something like nothing and you don't, that doesn't mean you're not normal. That just means all of us are different and all of us deal with things differently. We react to things differently, especially if on that day we are in a bad state of mind and the other person is a good state of mind. If you are going through that, know that being depressed, being sad is normal. What is not normal though is thinking that it's the end of the world. That's how I always thought when I was depressed before. I always thought it's the end of the world. I can't do anything about it. I should just end it. It's not the end of the world. If you end it, there's nothing else you can do about it. You will not be able to get out of it. You're just, nothing. If you try to think it over, pray first, of course. You should pray first. If you're not Christian, talk to someone, talk to the people you love, the people you trust, about how you're feeling. Tell them what is going on so that you can let it out. Because the more you share it, the more you feel better. So pray or talk to somebody. Think that everything will be better soon. It may not be today, but everything eventually will be better. Because if you are down, there's no other way but up. And also, if you are someone who do not feel depressed, please be considerate of other people, because you do not know what someone is going through. Some people will show you they're happy, but actually inside they are hurting and you don't know anything. So always, it's important to always be kind, to always ask people that you love how they are doing. If you are someone who has a loved one that is going through depression and sadness, please always be there for them. Ask them how they're doing. Just listen to whatever they want to complain or vent out. You don't have to give them advice. Sometimes what a person needs is someone to listen to them, and that's it. Sometimes we don't really talk to get a feedback. We talk to let it out. And maybe if you want to give advice, you can ask, can I give you an advice? Is it okay to give you an advice? Or I'm here for you, you always know that. I can tell you what I think, but if you don't want me to talk, I am listening and I understand what you're going through. So that is it for our topic for today. It's very deep, isn't it? It's my topic not because I'm an expert, but because I went through that. I hope that we help each other and be kind to each other every day. Anyway, again, I'm going to plug my Mother's Day raffle. If you want to join, send me something that tells why you love your mom and why you deserve, or your mom deserves, the trunk surprise. I will share everything in my vlog next time, and the best one will get the trunk surprise on Mother's Day. So thank you so much for watching the Kid Chronicles. I hope to see you again in my next vlog. Bye! Guys, I'm back because I forgot to say shout out to Biyahine Brai on YouTube. Guys, watch his videos. They are very entertaining and interesting. And make sure you like, share, and subscribe.